Hey, what's up, Central students? Nice, very nice. Welcome to the Central Students Podcast. We're here today with Israel.
Hey, what's up? Izzy here.
And we've got our special guest, Izzy. Who's our special guest today?
His name is Mr. Jamie Gilmore.
What's up, everybody?
We are so excited to have Jamie with us today. He's going to tell us a bit of his story. Izzy, what's our theme for the year for youth?
Our theme for the year is...
stories. What's your story?
What is your story?
So
what is our story?
We got to start off by talking about Izzy's story and hearing what he has. And Jamie's the guy who we've gotten to know over the past couple years, and so we want to hear his story.
Been that long?
How long? We've known each other for like 2 years now, right? I think.
Wow,
I know.
it's
Been that long, right? It was right.
Wow.
It was right like in the middle of
That is the
2020.
COVID loophole.
Wow.
COVID. I know. It feels like it's been way longer, and it feels like just yesterday.
You said a couple years, and then I was like, yeah, you're right.
I'm super stoked, but it's been cool. We've grown in friendship and
sure.
getting to see your ministry, and so today we're going to hear about Jamie's ministry and his life and just who he is, because we want in this podcast just to focus on stories and who people are, how they follow Jesus. But first of all, so we got everyone's names. We got one first intro question, just a fun question that's kind of ridiculous, just to get us loose, get us laughing. The question is, what is your third favorite dessert? Your third, not your favorite, not even your second, third favorite dessert.
I'm gonna let the head chef go first.
Oh.
Big chef guy, right?
Third favorite. It's it's a lot easier when it's one.
I know, man.
The
Third,
first
this is
first
really
one.
hard. And also in the
Third.
comments on YouTube, let us know what your third favorite dessert is.
Third. I'm gonna have to say my third favorite dessert is lemon pie.
Lemon pie.
Yes.
Nice. Homemade or?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
As long as
Any?
it's got the lemon
I
flavor
gotcha.
in it.
I gotcha.
It's-
I know where to get you guys a good lemon pie. I got you.
Okay.
I'm still trying to think.
All right, I'll go with mine.
Go with
Mine has
yours.
always been cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Third.
So what's your first two?
All right, first two are ice cream. I gotta say ice cream second. My number one favorite dessert are my mom's chocolate chip cookies.
Okay.
Nothing beats
Okay.
my mom's chocolate chip cookies.
For sure.
So
I'm thinking I'm gonna go with apple pie. I'm not a sweets guy, so I gotta really
Okay.
have to crave sweets. But I like stuff with bread in it. So like
I gotcha.
cinnamon bun is my favorite. I love cinnamon buns. But so yeah, I say apple pie.
nice.
Okay,
Ice cream
okay.
on top. How we doing this?
Yeah.
All right. I
Now,
like it.
now, ice cream on top is the apple pie warm.
Yes, for sure.
Okay,
Has to be.
Yes,
Has to be.
yes. They call that
All right.
apple pie
All
a la
right.
mode.
So this is officially our order for a lemon pie for Izzy and an apple pie for Jamie and Mom. You got to make me some cookies.
Yes.
I actually have some at home. She made
Let's
me
get
some
those
the other day.
Throw me
Chip
some in there too.
We were watching the Chiefs-Bills game the other night, eating a bunch of cookies.
Okay.
Too many cookies. All right, well, hey, also, we could talk about football. Let's do a football episode one of these days.
Yes.
Today we'll talk a little bit about that. But anyway, so let's get into it. Jamie, again, our theme for the year at youth group at church is just what's your story, encouraging leaders, students, everybody in our church just to focus on what's our story, how has Jesus led us. So if you want to just kind of lead it, we got a bunch of questions here, but kind of we just want to hear stories of how people are following Jesus in our community in Ocala in world-changing ways, in ways that matter. So go ahead.
So where should I start? More so just saying about me, my journey?
Yeah.
All right, so cool. So a little about me. Born and raised in Ocala. I was most kids, I picked up a football at a young age and figured out I was pretty good at it. So so I would watch TV and I was like, man, I want to do that. I want to be on the TV one day. I want to make a lot of money. I want to pay my mom's and dad's bills. That was my whole deal. And I just was an athlete. I played football. I started in first grade. So first grade, played football right here in Ocala at the Ed Krosky up there. After a while, got into high school, and football was serious for me. It was a point in time I was like, oh, this is getting real. I started getting scholarships, and it starts real. Like, okay, I'm really gonna go to school. I'm really gonna go to the NFL. I got my first offer my 10th grade year. I was playing. I played. So when I got into high school, I played other sports. I played basketball. I played football. I ran track. But then when I started getting scholarships, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna focus up on football. So then, long story short, we're going to skip to college. I went to Temple University. So a kid from Ocala, Florida, he jumped way to the northeast up there in Izzy's land, up there, in the northeast. And now I'm in Philadelphia, so it was a big culture shock for me. So all of my family's from here, from Florida, from Ocala. I got some family in Tampa, but it was a big culture shock for me. I didn't have that safety net you have when you're home. I was out there on my own, so I had to grow up fast. So when I was in school, I had a lot of experiences, a lot of things I had to learn, a lot of them tough moments. When you could call mom and just need a mom, go over mom's house, grandma's house, and have those, that dinner or whatever it is. I wasn't able to have that, so I had to confide in like friends or teammates, but being a male, those are things we're not acceptable to doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's not
tough,
not just gonna go in my roommate room and say, "Hey man, I'm sad," I'm feeling
It's
down
tough.
today. So
You
those
miss
are
that Southern comfort.
for sure, and those are some of the experiences. If I could go back, I would change. Doing what I do now and knowing what I know now, I would have been okay with just going on and say, "Hey, bro, I need to talk to you." I know. So a lot of things I held in at that time. But when I was at school, a lot of experience, and I guess a great thing to share here. So going back to childhood, I was always born. I'm from the South. You're from the South, and I'm a black man from the South. So most of you go to church. That's what we do. You're born and raised in the church. And at a time, and I listened to your pod when you guys had you on. It's funny because I said it yesterday, and I didn't know we made that connection. But it was one thing. You're like, well, but we're going. We're going. You always going to church. You don't know why you're going. You're just going because you're told to go.
Sure.
And at those times, there's a lot of experience that I had to grow. Those experiences took with me until adulthood. It got times when I was up at school and experiences start happening. I just found myself praying, not knowing, that was just my first reaction. That was the first thing for me to do was pray in those situations, those times where I felt vulnerable. I took that moment to go to God, and those were the moments. That's what got me through.
Yeah.
Those tough times, just being able to get down on my knees and just pray and say, God, lead me in the right direction. Even when sports wasn't going the way I wanted it to go, I will always pray to God and just say, God, just lead me in the direction. You show me what would you have me do? What do you need? What should I be doing in this moment? Lead my path in this moment. And those are some of the best, just best moments being able to come out of that. And, long story short, I finished my athletic career. And graduated. Now I'm come home. So now I'm home doing what I'm doing now. Do you want to go into this now?
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
So now,
First question, though, to go back. What position did you play?
So I play running back.
Running back.
Okay.
I was
Nice.
okay. So I play running back, and so share now.
Yeah,
I want to
so-
jump the gun. You guys
No,
let me know.
dude, go into it. Any questions, Izzy?
So what is the name of your ministry?
So it's called Kut Different. Kut Different with a K. So Kut Different. That's the name of it, yes, sir.
And what is Kut Different?
So Kut Different is a male mentoring organization. So the name the name comes from even one of those tough times I was telling you. I was away from home, and then after I left Philly, I did grad school out in Illinois. And I had a good friend at the time, and so my football career was over with, and we call it PTSD, post-traumatic sports disorder. So it's like, what's next? It's like I've been doing this all my life. I told you I started in first grade, and I just knew this was going to be my life forever. And I got done, so it was like, what's next? Excuse me. So I was in a time of figuring out what I was going to do, in a time of confusion. Wanting to do things that is not really working out in my favor, and I'm like questioning, like, why I know I'm qualified, I know I'm supposed to get this, why am I not getting this? And then one of my friends, I actually went to him, and then this is a time where I was older and I was acceptable to actions, man, I'm down, I need you right now. And this friend at the time, he told me, he was like, people don't understand you. God has something else for you, and he said the words to me, you're cut different.
Gotcha.
And he said that to
Wow.
me at that time. He was like, you're cut different. I was like, whoa, and it kind of hit me like a ton of like a piano fell on my head, like cut
Ouch.
different. And I told him at that moment, I was like, I was gonna do something with that, and I literally went home and start sketching up like cut different with a K, like logos for it and how I wanted to look. And at that time, I sketched up like I put the K as scissors, like scissors and cut different. So I thought it was so. At that time, it was the coolest thing ever. I couldn't tell me anything else. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I know it. I took him to a guy to design it. He was like, they're gonna think you're a barbershop. I was like, you're right. So we kind of switched it up, and that was a guy Carl. He's at iCandy, so just to shout you out, Carl.
Yeah, there we go. We shout out people a lot.
Yeah. So
Feel free.
he's the guy that kind of came up with the design of our logo. But again, so at that time, he was helping me out, and that's where I came up with the whole concept. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I was gonna do something with the name for sure.
So we get to see you kind of in action sometimes, even from afar, because you get to do some of your stuff at our on the campus of the church that we get to serve with. And I'm super excited because you've helped expand what is able to happen here. Sure. So what are some of your favorite, maybe even moments? Like what's a favorite moment you've had with your ministry?
Yeah, or with your ministry.
Well,
I thought just
anything.
about the church. So with the ministry.
With church or ministry, whatever question you want to go for.
So with our ministry, I think the best thing is probably what you all see. When you're working with someone and you're pouring so much into them and just seeing the moments when you're seeing them grow and you're seeing them respond or understanding what you're trying to get to them. And one thing I'm pretty I try to be aware of and I'm good at. It's not talking but talking to, our kids. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking at you. And it's a lot of things I share with them, like the way you're acting or things you do. I've done this before. So I'm not talking to you as a person that's better than you or feel like what you're doing, I'm above you. It's like, no, I've just been there before. And I know if someone would have told me this, what I'm telling you, my life, would have been so much smoother. So that's my whole approach to it. Again, just pulling those kids in. And when we're going, I work in the schools as well. So I think that's the biggest thing I get out of it. Just seeing them, obviously, like when they see the improvement in themselves as far as, grades, maybe if their grades coming up or going up. So those are the best experiences.
I really love seeing when I pull up to campus sometimes, whenever it's a youth day for us or I'm just on campus to be on campus. I love seeing that you're in the field working with somebody. Giving them the skills that you learned and the talents that God gave you. For sure. And like pouring into them, that's like the best thing I've ever seen. Is great.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And those experiences, man, it's kind of just crazy how those work, because that's one thing I kind of stayed away from. When I first got back, that was the most thing people saying, you're going to coach, you're going to do training. And I was kind of like, nah, because I feel like that's what anybody does. They play sports, like, they just put you in that category. Yeah. Like, you're automatically a coach or you're a trainer, or like, no, I don't really want to do that. And so that kid that I do train, he came to me it was just random and it happened and just felt right. And I actually did it, and it's been going great so far. But yeah. So
it's super cool, man. And again, just seeing the passion you have with these kids, and when kids know you played, does that kind of elevate their respect a little bit?
Sure.
Or like,
for sure. Man. So again, and that's the biggest thing, and that's the connection I take. And I tell people all the time, because people know I'm a man of faith. My dad's a pastor.
Yeah, he is.
So like I say, I grew up in the church, and that's another experience I got, and I love to share that here. My dad, so I was born a teenage parent. So my mother and father were in by the time they graduated high school, they had 2 kids. I have an older brother. So I grew up with my parents. And my dad, literally, me and my dad got baptized at the same time.
Whoa,
so
that's
it
great.
was a great experience.
Wow.
So for me, I was able to see what God did in my dad, and that was the biggest thing for me. So I was able to see visually what God did for my dad, how it changed his life. Not saying he was just doing anything terrible before, but it changed his life around. And I seen that. So that for me, because my dad, he's a pastor, but he never been a guy that you got to go to church. You think about PK, you think you Bible studies, doing all this.
I know
my
that.
dad wasn't that guy. He didn't force our hand on anything, but he showed us. He led by example, and that was the best thing ever for me, because he didn't force it on me. He just showed me, and that's the way I am.
Yeah,
so,
dude, I'm thankful. My dad the same. I'm a PK, and my dad leads by example too. And I know I can see Izzy as a dad leading by example with his family. And man, it's the male mentorship stuff that you do, even for those young guys that don't have a father figure. Not that we can ever replace that, but that we can step in and be a support. Sure. And so, dude, I'm just so thankful to see your ministry and see what you get to do and become friends with you more and more as we go on and grow up. So what are some ways that you look for support? Just as we kind of wrap this thing up, what are some ways that you need support or that you can receive support? Is it financially? Is it just encouragement?
So financially is all things, and I always tell people that's the first thing, prayer. We always use prayer. That's make sure we always keeping God first in everything that we do. Second off, we are nonprofit, so definitely need financial support. But other than that, you can just help out by volunteering. Volunteering if we have something going on, or if you're a male and you think you have something to contribute, or you're a business owner, you have something that kids can come out and experience. Because our whole thing is wrapped around exposure and experience. Kids being able to experience things outside of sports, or just being aware of just their awareness. You only know what you know, so we have to be able to expand these kids' horizon in their minds and introduce them to different fields. The things from an architect or paint. Just
you went to the Appleton one time, right?
But those different experiences. Cool. So those 3 things are definitely how we can use.
That's super cool. And I know we talked yesterday about what's like a call to action. I know I have one from your story that I'd love to call everyone watching to do. Is there a call to action you can think of? You want to throw everybody?
So one thing, I definitely. So one thing I wanted to share, and I'm glad I thought about it before we got off. So what I'm doing now, this is experience. I never thought I would ever be doing this. I never thought I would come back to my hometown. But it was one point in my life. I've always been a driven and dedicated man to come from sports. Sports is a world. You got to, every day you got to be your all. You got to be the toughest guy.
Sure.
You just got to be so strong, strong-willed. But it was one point in my life when all that was going on, and I told you my friend, he said, we're cut different. I literally prayed to God, and I told him, you take the wheel. So all the point in my life, I was always trying to be the head. Like what I wanted, I went and got. And I never took the time to sit back, like, what does God want from me? Not about what I want. So I challenge all you kids, like, when you get into those moments, just literally think about what God wants for you. It's not really so much about, we all want something, this is with the world. We have these, these emotions and all these things in our body and, these feelings that we want, but just sit back and ask God and let God take the wheel. And trust God, for sure.
Well, hey, man, that was going to be my challenge to everybody, too, just that same thing. And one of the verses that I think about when I was trying to figure out what to do with my life, my dad said, go read Psalm 25, verses 4 through 5. And I don't really have it memorized super well just because I've never been good at that. But, well, it's not anyway. But it's just ask God, guide me and direct me. And so anyone out there, if you want to go read Psalm 25, 4 to 5, that's kind of your walkout challenge. Pray that prayer Jamie prayed. Just God, you, not me.
For sure.
And so with that being said, Jamie, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Hey, I'm so grateful for what you do, man.
Appreciate it.
It's a great ministry. I appreciate everything.
Got the
you
head
do,
chef here and the man with the plan right here.
Hey, man, we're blessed to have each other and have everybody that does awesome stuff in Ocala. And thanks for broadening our horizon and the horizon of all these guys you get to minister with. So with that being said, Central, we're so excited to have you guys to watch this. Izzy, you want to close us out? What do we say every Sunday?
Go out and beat Jesus.
Peace, guys.
Boom. Yeah.
We did it. Yes.
Yeah.